Talking with the experts.
Hello and welcome to Talking with the Experts. My name's Rose Davidson from rosedavidson.com, and today my guest is Eric Twigg. Good morning, Eric. How are you?
I am fantastic, Rose. How's it going with you?
Pretty well, thank you. Thank you for coming on today. Tell me a little bit about your business.
So I am your procrastination prevention partner. So what I do is I help entrepreneurs and executive leaders to ditch their excuses, to beat procrastination so they can make more money, get more done, and feel more confident.
Wow, that's a great pitch. Thank you. Yeah, so I guess tell me how you go about doing that.
So I go about doing it by, I do speaking engagements. So I do keynote presentations, I do workshops, and I also do one-on-one coaching.
Yep. So how does one stop procrastinating?
So the key thing is awareness, right? So, my book, The Discipline of Now, 12 Practical Principles to Overcome Procrastination, the whole theme of the book is really about awareness and you come to an understanding to what triggers you to procrastinate. And once your awareness is heightened, you can put things in place to make sure you're getting the right things done.
Yeah, I know I'm guilty of procrastinating from time to time. I think I guess, things I want to do, and I know I should be doing them, and I procrastinate because I have a wall up against to say, oh, is this the right thing to do? Do I have the power to do it? Do I, um, you know, whatever it is? How does one overcome, those feelings of, not, you've got something to do, and the wall that you've put up against the thing, the awareness. How do you bring awareness to how you're procrastinating?
So there's a couple of things. I think the first thing is to really be clear as far as what your ultimate goals are, right? So I always say that clarity is the starting point of success, and really being clear. So once you're clear, you can make sure that the things you're doing are moving you in that direction. So here's what I see, Rose, that happens a lot is we say yes to a lot of different things. So people, oh, hey, I need you to chair this committee. Hey, I need you to be president of this organization. Hey, I need you to work on this with me. Yes, 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 yes. And we end up doing things that really don't line up. So once you really gain clarity on what it is that you're driving towards, what your North Star is, it makes it much easier for you to say no. And the key is to stay on purpose. And what I find is that you'll procrastinate less when you know that the things that you're doing are lining up with your goals.
Yeah, I've trying to organize an online summit at the moment, and I'm doing great with that. But other things I'm putting on the back burner, but it's not helping my business. So, I think, well, could I be doing a bit more? Should I stop helping other people, for free? Because I do a lot of free work. We call it mates rates here. And I tend to let people take advantage of, my good nature. So how does one stop that? Because I know that can lead to procrastination in other areas.
Well, again, you just have to say no. I mean, chapter 6 is dedicated to saying no. And one of the things, like the high level people that I've been around, that's one thing. Like no is their default until they get more information. So they say no to way more things than they say yes to. So and then something else to think about. So let's say you're involved in things that you said yes to, and you're doing these things. Maybe you're trying to be nice. You thought maybe, hey, they're not going to ask me again. So you're doing these things. There's something called zero-based thinking. So that's where you go back and say, you know what? Knowing what I know now, would I have said yes to this? Would I have gotten involved with this organization? would I have chaired this committee? And let's say your answer is absolutely not. I would not have done that. Then the next thing is, okay, how soon can I get out of it? And it's not about beating yourself up. It's, because we all make decisions that seem like a good idea at the time. And the key is, how can we get out? Is there someone else that can do what we're doing so that we can get back on track?
Yeah. So I guess a little bit of the saying no, that's quite difficult for a lot of people. I guess they're people pleasers, and
Yes.
and people pleasers and procrastination go hand in hand, in my view. So if you're a people pleaser, what are the steps that you can take that stop you from being that people pleaser?
Well, so first off, understand that you're saying no to the request and not directly to the individual, right? So that's the key thing. A lot of times, if let's say you're a people pleaser, you're thinking, oh, yeah, oh man, I'm saying no to them. No, you're not saying no you're saying no to their request. So usually I teach people to, hey, thank you for that. I appreciate you thinking of me, but right now that doesn't fit into my schedule. Right now I've got too much, I don't want to underdeliver for you. So you're really saying no to the request and not that individual. So I think knowing that can really help. And then the other thing, again, I think it goes back to clarity. And the more clear you are with where you're trying to go, the less likely you'll be trying to please other people, and when they're trying to put things on you that don't line up. And here's the thing I've noticed: people really respect you when you have boundaries.
Yeah.
Like you think you're hurting them, but they're walking away with a level of respect where they understand where their boundaries are, and it really it's liberating when you get to the point where you don't really have to please people, that it's really more about your goals and your purpose.
Well, that makes heaps of sense. I think I should have talked to you a little while ago. So tell me a little bit more about your book, Eric.
So the book is titled The Discipline of Now, 12 Practical Principles to Overcome Procrastination. And I tried to make it something that's a simple read, meaning it's 100 pages, and it's got exercises, and it's pretty easy to follow. And I've made it, I've got a model in the book. It's called the Procrastination Prevention Pyramid, where if you follow it, it can help you to really overcome procrastination. So my book is different from a lot of the other books on the same topic. So here's what frustrated me when I was kind of looking around at these other procrastination books. It was a lot of kind of the canned cliches. It was, okay, you got to be the early bird. You don't check your email before noon. Make a to-do list. Just all the canned cliches.
Yeah.
And it was just frustrating. So my book is more customized to where you are in life.
Yeah, very good. And where can they find it?
They can find it on Amazon.com, but they can also go to my site, thedisciplineofnow.com. And it's available in paperback, ebook, and audio format.
Audio. Wow, that's exciting, because a lot of people don't have time to read, but they would listen to an audio book, driving to work or whatever. So yeah, that's great. I know. I think audio and video really are the way to go these days, because of the pandemic and everything that's been happening in the world. Yeah, and I think that's people just, even though they're at home, I think oh god, my brain is just so dead today. The video and audio are the way to go. That's what I'm thinking. Electronic things are a lot better, a lot easier, and more accessible than they were last year. I think people are moving more towards that thing. What's your thoughts on that?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I think people have more and more demands on their time, and it's just harder to carve out time like it used to be. And so one of the things I find is that, like, let's say if you've got, so one of the reasons that people procrastinate is because it's a necessary but unpleasant task, right?
Yeah.
You just it's something you just really don't want to do. So what I find helpful is if you combine that with a task. Let's say you enjoy reading audiobooks, but you really don't like washing dishes.
Yeah.
It's necessary, something so you can actually, while you're washing dishes, you can be listening to your audio program. It makes the time go. Or you don't like doing the expense reports or some of those other things. You can combine that with a task of listening to music, doing audio. So yeah, I find that to be helpful.
That's a good tip. I hadn't, well, I hadn't thought of that either. So there you go. I think I haven't thought of a lot of things lately. So tell me a little bit about your podcast. It sounds really exciting.
Yeah, it's called the 30-Minute Hour. And so I'm the host, and then I have my co-host, Ted Fells, and he is a business owner. He's we call him the business strategist extraordinaire, and all around good guy. Like, he's a guy, if you say, hey, you know what, I'm coming up, I have an idea of this concept, I want to sell this and that, he'll look at you for 5 minutes and then say, hey, you should call it this. And it's like the greatest idea you've ever heard in your life. He's that guy. But I mean, when it's not your everyday podcast, we keep it light, we keep it fun, but it's really about personal development. We bring on guests who are influencers that are making it happen, but we really want to provide the audience with nuggets and tools that they can go back and apply.
Yep, that's a lot of podcasts aren't doing that. They just having guests on and having a talk fest, I guess, and not providing
Talk fest.
not providing a lot of useful informational tools, which is I'd rather listen to a podcast that's going to give me something that I can take away and use for later or whatever. So yeah, that's a really good way of doing things. So I'm not really sure. Tell me something. Just tell me something. Anything.
Well, I mean, I can tell you kind of my backstory is because I'm always asked, okay, Eric, well, how did you get started talking about time management, procrastination, and all that?
That's a great topic. Yeah, tell me about that.
Yeah, so it started for me in college, right? I talk about this in the book. It's my senior year. I'm at Hampton University over here in the United States, and I'm having a conversation with my good friend Donnell. So Donnell and I, like, we're a little different. Like, he was about the purpose, and I was about the party.
Yeah.
That's how we were in those days. And so he was always giving me, like, Eric, you need to get it together and get serious, figure out what you want to do. And I'm like, man, lighten up. We have plenty of time for all that. Are you going to the party with me or not? So several weeks go by and I don't hear from him. But then I get a call from his mother telling me that he was killed in a car accident.
Oh dear.
That told me that maybe I don't have the time that I think to do the things that I need to do. So that's really when it started for me, because I really started thinking about time. But here's the thing. So here's what I thought. I thought that the message was that I need to climb the corporate ladder and become the success and make the money because time is short, right? That's what I thought. So my next few years, I went out and I was a district manager. I had like 17 automotive repair facilities. We're making all this money. I'm winning these awards. We're the most profitable district in the organization. I'm driving the big car. And I remember it plain as day. I'm looking in the mirror one day. I'm looking in the rearview mirror. And I just remember the eyes looking back at me were the eyes of someone who hated what he was doing.
Wow.
So like, I was successful, but I wasn't significant. Yeah. And that really took me on a journey to figure out, okay, what is it that I really want to do? And it just kept coming back to every time I felt fulfilled, it was when I was speaking in front of a group. So whenever I spent time as a corporate trainer for different companies, and I always loved that job when I would just talk to people and teach them, and I would think to myself, man, I could just do this all day, every day. But I had to kind of walk it back. And then I finally ended up joining the Toastmasters International, the speaking organization.
Yeah.
And then from there, I met someone who was a trainer who trained professional speakers. And then it just went from there. And literally that's how you and I are talking right now. Like all of those steps, that experience where my friend passed away to the point where I was successful, but not significant. Here I am.
Well, that's, wow. The story is like, I'm sorry about your friend. That's quite sad, but I guess in the shift of things, it's shifted your thinking, it's shifted your life, it's shifted who you were to become. But it's sad that something like that had to happen for you to, I guess, align yourself with your purpose and what you were, really meant to do. Well, anyway, so, God, this is just hopeless. From your backstory, and you didn't feel significant, and you were very successful in your business or in your employment. How did that come about to the procrastination? I know about time, because everyone's got a limited amount of time on this earth, and they think, they've got absolutely forever. But, as you found out, time is can be taken away at any point. So what turned you into coaching about procrastination?
So here's the thing. So remember, I had this epiphany where I said, okay, you know what? I need to be speaking in front of people. Now, I said I'm your procrastination prevention partner, but I procrastinated for like 3 years before I actually started moving, because what happened was it was the voices in my head saying, well, Eric, who's going to bring you in? Who's going to pay you to come talk to their organization? Okay, Eric, well, what are you going to say that hasn't already been said by Les Brown or Tony Robbins or somebody like that? And so literally for 3 years, I didn't really move forward until finally I took that initial step. And so the funny thing is, I just found that when I first started writing speeches, it would always come back to time. It was always coming back. And I remember working with a coach, because I was trying to figure out, okay, what's my lane, what's my niche? And she's like, man, every time I hear you talking about time, what is it with you and time? And so, and that's when I figured out that that's really what it was all about. And the funny, even in the early days, like when I would make like audio programs, and I'd be at a trade show selling my thing, and everybody brought up the time stuff. Anytime I talk about procrastination, it's like it just flew off the shelf. So that's kind of how it was confirmed that this is really kind of what I'm supposed to be talking about. I'm here to talk to people to help them to become more productive and overcome procrastination.
Yep, that's 3 years. 3 years is a long time, and it's the little voices. I think that's what I was trying to say earlier. It's the voices in your head to say, is this the right thing? You've got the devil on one side and you've got your angel on the other, and they're fighting each other, and you're thinking, who's going to win? Because, if I do this, what's going to happen? If I don't do it, am I missing an opportunity? So that really it causes a lot of procrastination, and just you need to make a decision, and sometimes it's really hard to make that decision because you don't know if it's going to be the right thing. But I think jumping all in with both feet sometimes can be the best thing, rather than just dipping your toe in the water and hoping for the best. So what's your thoughts on that?
So here's the thing. So a lot of times, like for me, like I was dealing with perfectionism, right? That's when you feel like, okay, I need to have before I take the next step, I need to have everything figured out.
I agree with
I've
that.
got to have all the lights have to be green on the street, the heavens have to part, and then I'm going to move. But that's not how it works. There's never going to be that ideal time. There's never going to be 100% certainty. Here's what I learned from that situation. I try to teach this to people. You can't allow perfect to become the enemy of progress. That is so important.
Wow.
You can't allow perfect to become the enemy of progress. And the key is you have to focus on the next step. Don't try to have it all, because you think about it. You wouldn't need faith if you knew everything.
Yeah.
Right. And anybody that's successful in business, they take leaps of faith. They move on faith, because there's no such thing as 100% certainty. So you have to so that finally, when I stopped procrastinating, it was when I say, okay, what's the next step? Okay, I'm going to just go to this Toastmasters meeting. I'm not trying to figure this whole thing out. I'm going to go to the Toastmasters meeting and let's see what happens.
Yeah.
and that's when I started to move.
Yeah, it's like I think maybe that's for me, everything's got to be perfect before I move forward, because I think because I'm a bit of a perfectionist, and so that probably is one of the things that makes me procrastinate in moving forward in something, because all my ducks have to be in a row before I think that it's gonna work. And then when it doesn't work, or there's a duck decides he doesn't want to be in line, I think, oh my God, I'm a failure. So yeah, that's a really great tip. You're just wonderful. I love that. Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to go and buy your book now.
Excellent.
So tell me, where can people find you again? What's your website?
So you can go to thedisciplineofnow.com. That's the website where you can get the book. And again, it's an audio paperback and on electronic as well. So you can get the book there. So also, I'm the president of something that's called the What Now Movement. Okay, so that's basically, we started this, I have myself, my podcast co-host, and another great friend of mine. We started this movement. So I have business partners. It's called the What Now Movement. We do virtual summits, and we help people. It was actually started during the pandemic, because I was finding that people were procrastinating. They were like, hey, Eric, I own this restaurant and my restaurant's closed. I can only do drive-through. What now? Hey, Eric, I'm a professional speaker and I can't, you can't get large gatherings together. So what do I do now? What now? So we decided to come together, and my partners were getting these same questions. So we decided to form the What Now Movement, where we equip people to become more resourceful, and we teach them how to pivot, so that when something happens, like a pandemic or like anything, now you can make the right adjustments. But we have a Facebook group. It's called the What Now Movement Facebook group. And it's close to 1,400 people in and growing like every day. And it's free. It's a good place to network. It's a good place to every day. We've got somebody doing a live video on time management, on gratitude, on finances. So definitely your followers can go to the What Now Movement Facebook group and just sign up.
Beautiful. I might do that myself. I think it sounds interesting, and something that would help me a lot too, I think. So yeah, I think Eric, we've run out of time today. So thank you so much for joining me. And procrastination, I think I will banish that forever. You've helped me a lot.
I know you will.
Yeah. All right. Thanks so much, Eric.
Hey, thank you.